Hi guys, good morning.
Yeah, where is everyone?
Let me call them. So I think Nancy is right now is here.
Okay. Nancy, did you complete your research or not already?
Not yet.
Okay. So what I want you to do in the time that we wait is that okay, wait, let's just wait for more people to trickle in and then I'll just talk about what we have in plan today.
Okay, Jasper, right? I think Eddie won't be available, but I think Maggie, mm, eh? Jasper?
Jasper's not here.
Jasper, yeah, no, Jasper is here. Ryan is here. So yeah, actually Ryan be ready at 8. He's the earliest one. Okay, and also please inform them that hi guys, the motion three, I just got email from the Harvard team. They told
Yeah,
us
so round three, the motion is like the motion change. So like we're just gonna focus on round two. Okay? Is that all right? Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Um Who else are we missing? We're missing Maggie.
no Maggie is here. I think I gonna
Who's gonna be speaking? Who is gonna be speaking for the prepped motions? So who is gonna be speaking for round two and round three? Okay, I want you guys to get that set because that will help you determine on what you need to focus on. Afterwards, I want you guys to discuss what research you've done so far and how you can link it back. Okay? Yes?
Yeah.
So first talk about what you guys are gonna do for round two and round three, and then afterwards talk about your research.
Okay, so if anyone wants to talk,
Or actually, if anyone wants to create a shared doc and then share it with everyone, so you guys all have permissions to your own doc, that would be great.
put your email in the chat. I'll create a shared doc.
Okay, have you guys decided what role you're gonna do for round two and three? Who's speaking? We don't know the round three motion yet, so just tell me what you guys are gonna plan for round two.
Ryan and I can speak for round two.
Okay, who's the third speaker though? Okay, if you guys are speaking, okay, wait. So, what role do you guys usually speak for? It depends on what you guys.
I usually speak second speaker.
Okay, what about Ryan? Okay, so Ryan can speak first. Nancy will speak second. Okay, can you guys put that on the doc? Also, Nancy, did you share the doc with me or pa paste a link so I can see what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I shared with you.
Okay.
Can you also share it to me?
Yeah, I also shared to you.
Okay, who's speaking third? Maggie or Eddie or Jasper? What do you guys think? I mean, Eddie's not here clearly, but who's more comfortable with third speaking? Maggie, what role do you usually do?
Um,
First, second, or third?
Usually like second or first or something.
Okay, does anyone do thirds here?
I don't really do WSDC.
Right, but thirds are basically whip. So if you're good at whip, you'll be good at thirds.
Then I don't do thirds.
Jasper, do you do thirds? Never mind. Thirds, okay. Listen, if you guys have like really good listening skills all throughout this, like all throughout the debate, then you guys need to like do third. So I think Ryan has a decent amount of listening skills. So Ryan, can you do third instead? Yeah, okay. Today what we'll focus on is like roles and how you can use that to apply to your like prep speeches. Maggie, you're gonna do first, okay?
What?
You're gonna do first for round two.
Okay.
Okay, so are you guys like, okay, can you guys take me through your research on what everyone did? If you guys did it on separate docs, share it in the chat, but I also want you guys to hear you guys present it as well. So, like, go to your doc or like wherever you prepared it on. If you paper prepped, I can't really help you. Otherwise you'll just have to present verbally. But as for Ryan, I think Ryan, he should share his doc with me electronically. And then for the rest of you who do have mics, just present it verbally. Okay. So does anyone want to start first in presenting their research? Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to pick randomly. Maggie, what did you prepare for your research? Okay, the people who can speak, like talk amongst yourselves and talk about what you've prepared and what the other person prepared and what you're missing. This is gonna help you guys discuss on what you're missing in the case and how you can further like improve it. Okay? So I want everyone to unmute their mics right now and talk about what they've researched. Okay, can we speak? Like, it's not useful just typing. I need you guys to speak. So Nancy and Jasper, like, can you please unmute your mics? Ryan, he can type on the doc, but otherwise you guys need to talk about your case. Especially if Maggie and Nancy are both speaking. Then that's really important for you guys to talk about it. And then Jasper, I want you to listen to what Maggie and Nancy are talking about or what they're speaking of, and I want you to think of 3 points on how the case could use improvement. Okay?
你在上课吗？Yeah. Okay.
My main point for Rob is that it could be abused by people who don't really need the drug, and it could create a dependency on the drug when you should be exercising normally to keep skinny.
Okay, yeah, dependency. That's pretty good. But okay. What I want you to do then is that I want you to talk about why this dependency happens and why it's likely to happen. Because the original motion states that it's just opposing the fast track of drugs. So you need to link it on how the fast track will lead to people getting more access to these drugs. And therefore, if people get more access to these drugs, then it's more likely that they abuse it or that there's going to be companies who abuse this process and end up making it over the counter, for example. Okay? So I just want you to add that like side note there so then you can improve on it more. That's very good. Does anyone have any questions for Nancy or any parts that they think that she should improve on? I'm gonna give you guys like 3 minutes, and I want you guys to think of at least 2 points that Nancy should improve on for her argument. And I don't want to hear you can't find one. Okay? 2 minutes or 2 points, 3 minutes. Okay. Um, Ryan, if you can't speak, just type your like things in the chat, okay? Okay. That's good. Does anyone else have any, you know, points that Nancy or like points of refutation or anything that might cause people to find holes in for the case? Maggie, how about you? What did you think of?
I was just thinking like eventually like it's not like a reputation, but like eventually people uh forget about exercising and then like companies will just like keep making them and um like make the prices higher and stuff so then people like um use it more and then like
Okay, you're right on the dependency, right? That's what Nancy talked about. But what you're not right about is on the exercising part. I just don't think that it's intuitively true that people are going to stop exercising just because they have Ozempic. Like, yes, there's going to be a certain amount of individuals who are going to be limited and like feel like they you know, need to they like they don't need to exercise. But most people who do exercise, like they exercise so they can be healthy, not necessarily for losing weight. And I feel like that would be a pretty bad mechanism to hinge on. As for Ryan, I think that is like that's good. Um, but because this isn't a policy motion, anything could go like there, technically anything could happen. What you really need to focus on is sort of like, okay, these are good points. Make sure to add it in like the op once you get a chance. And then try to think of a way that you can build around that. So that's going to be some things that the other side is going to question. How do we rebuild that to make the argument stronger? Okay, Jasper, what do you have? What are the 2 points that you found that you think Nancy might improve on or might need to improve on? And if you're speaking right now, your mic is off, so you should turn it on. Okay, I guess he's not present with us right now. Um, all right. So Nancy, okay, Ryan and Nancy, like just make sure to paste your case on this. Like everyone who's speaking for round two, you got to paste the case in here. So then later on, when you guys do meet outside of class time, you need to like figure out who's gonna say what. Okay, today we're gonna focus on sort of like how you should be performing your role and what the best like how to fulfill your role essentially. Okay? So, okay. Okay, so like did you guys know that you have to do reply every single round and that the reply has to be first speaker and second speaker or second speaker?
Yeah,
Yeah, who
I
usually does
heard
reply?
Natasha mention it before.
Okay, so you guys never done reply before.
Never.
Not enough people. What do you mean? No, no, no. Okay, WSDC is like you have three people presenting, right? Speaker one, speaker two, and speaker three. During the round, either speaker one or speaker two, you have to tell the judge at the start who's gonna do reply. And how reply works is that like, wait, you guys never done reply before. Do you guys know when to do reply? Yes, but like, let's say that you're prop, right? When do you do reply? Is it after op? No, go okay, yes, after op who? Who's after what speaker and op? Yes, after op reply. Good. So do you guys know how long reply speeches are? 4 minutes. 4 minutes, yes, good. And then normal speeches are 8 minutes. So replies are cut down by half. What replies do is that you can't sort of like you can't bring any new arguments, nor can you add any new refutations. So you can't add like it's essentially third, except third has a little bit more flexibility. Whereas you can introduce some like you can expand, but reply is no expansion at all. It is literally a biased summary. Okay? So let's say for prop, this house opposes like the okay, what is it? This house opposes the like US food blah blah blah, right? The fast track. You can say like out of all of your arguments, talk about which ones stand the most against the other team. All right. So what is the most obvious clash that you guys should be winning on and why? Okay, that's like the most simplest definition that I can give you. Make sure to take notes about this because I don't have my doc open right now. But like essentially the premise is that you have to say this in like a biased manner, right? You can talk about previous refutations that have been brought up. Um, like maybe what your team said that the other team hasn't refuted, or you can talk about what the team what the other team said and what your team refuted and how that sort of helps you win. Okay? Just think about that. What is a role that you guys think you guys struggle the most on? Because I know that most of you guys are like first or second speakers, which are both constructive speakers, but third is like what you should really be focusing on. Because I don't think anyone is third. Okay, well, reply speech, if Ryan does third, then either Maggie or Nancy have to do reply. Okay, so not only do you guys have to decide who speaks first or second, you also have to decide who speaks reply. So for round two, who is gonna speak reply? Ryan doesn't need to because he's third. Okay, Nancy. So just make sure to note it down. What are the things that you guys struggle the most on? Like what role do you guys, okay, refutation, third, right? Okay. Today, let's just talk more about third and what your role is. I'm gonna give you like a simplified definition. Since you guys already have the Harvard prep doc, I'm just gonna go over there and talk about third, okay? Can everyone see what I'm typing right now? Okay, are you on the doc? I think you are. Okay, I just typed it. Okay. All right. Third. Okay, the main focus obviously should be like defending your case through themes. All right. So themes are essentially what continuously gets brought up throughout the round. Okay. Can you guys give me an example of a theme? Anyone can unmute. Come on, guys. I need you to be a little bit more like participate a little bit more. What is a theme? Bias things. Be a little bit more specific.
General attributes relating to both your cases.
Yes. So basically, if I say, let's talk about, okay, wait, let me just summarize what you need to do for P, like speaker three first. Yeah. So you need to do basically, first thing you need to do, intro. Second, what you need to do is like clear any clarifications that you need to do. Clarifications, burden, push. So clarify where you're like where your team stands. And if the other team misinterprets anything, that's the time when you need to clarify it right now. Because if you don't, like, then it would be really hard to defend it later on because reply isn't allowed to give any new constructives. So any clarifications must come out latest third. Better if it's second, but third is like, yeah, third is like the last time that you are able to do it. Okay, push, burden push slash clarification, and then we need to do rebuttal, okay? I think you guys all know how to do rebuttal, right? Okay. Or reconstruction. Do you guys know how to reconstruct? Yes, rebuild. So, for example, if the other team takes down, as in they refute your other argument, right? And then your argument's looking a little bit weak. What you can do is you can rebuild it. Just say, okay, well, they said this. But let me prove it why let me prove why it actually does not matter or it's not as relevant that you may think. Talk about, specific impacts, specific burdens that you carried and why maybe the other side misinterpreted. All of these things consider as reconstruction and yeah, think about the main things that the other team will attack. So obviously, if you're standing if you're giving like very obvious points, like yes, that's true. Most of the team won't contest that. So think about what the team will contest then. What are some points that the other team might attack on? The less obvious ones. And then focus more on that. And then what do you think the last thing should be? Okay, so you weigh the round. Do you guys know how to weigh? Okay, let's do an exercise to help you guys on weighing. Let's say the motion is this house would ban zoos. All right. And then let's say prop zoos are harmful because they abuse animals. All right. Whatever like mechanisms they might use, that's in there. Their main case is gonna be um zoos are essential to learning, understand fundamental understanding of animals. It also provides a sanctuary, safe sanctuary where they are not um targeted by predators, i.e., endangered species. All right. Okay. Those are just like the general main cases. So what I want you guys to do is that I want you to guys to find some points on like I want you guys to make one for each like weighing for one for each team. Okay. So prop and op. Make sense? I'll give you guys like 5 minutes to do that. Is that okay? Okay. All right, just a reminder, guys, to text each other and talk about the motion after class too. So I want you guys to meet at least twice before you guys actually sort of go on the trip, so then you guys can get the case straight. If you're not speaking for round two, I want you to find holes in each case. So, for example, what are some things that the prop is missing? What are some things that the op is missing? Okay? Make sense? So either after this class, you guys can discuss on whatever group chat you have, or tomorrow, like sometime. Okay? All right. Okay, I'm just gonna look through. Okay. Are you okay? Remember, when you guys weigh, you always have to weigh on a metric. All right? So either the metric is sort of bringing more change, helping the more vulnerable, or just utilitarianism, like help like the magnitude of like the impact, right? But you always have to make sure that your weighing is weighed on a metric. So let's say that the weighing metric for prop is um the quality of life for animals. Then you can say, obviously, on op, yes, there are going to be endangered animals whose lives are going to be saved, but the quality of their lives are going to be increasingly worse because of how zoos treat them. And then you can give a bunch of examples. Whereas on an op, you can say, okay, the quality of life does not matter as much as biodiversity or like the vulnerability that these animals are in right now. And then you can give climate change as an example. You're like, okay, well, climate change is on the rise. Lots of animals are losing their homes. More predators are like blah, 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 right? And then you can say, without zoos, like, let's say without zoos, many of these species wouldn't be alive today. And then, for example, pandas, right? Talk about that. You always have to make sure that you weigh on a metric. Okay, and then outside of it, if you guys can, themes are really important for a third. So just be sure to practice it outside of class, because obviously we're not going to have enough time. But how do we pick our themes? What we're looking for most is a disagreement between both sides. So, disagreement between both sides that reach for the same impact, i.e., helping more people, right? So if they reach the same impact, then what you need to do is that you have to find a common theme or um okay, find out about any deadlocks. Okay. So let's talk about deadlocks and clashes for a second. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys an example and I want you guys to think about it. I'm too lazy to type it up. But let's say essentially it's this house supports the u use of AI in warfare. Okay? Prop and Op both agree that the use of AI in warfare will increase the number of wars they enter to, where the disagreement is whether those wars are good or bad. Okay? So they agree on that, yes, there's going to be more wars, but they disagree on whether these wars are going to be either beneficial or terrible for the country. Then they both say both sides agree that there's going to be more war, but we disagree whether it is likely to be good or bad wars. I have three reasons why X is more likely. Okay. So in a theme, you always have to say, like, point out the clashes, point out the disagreement, and then your side is more likely. All right. Make sense? Let me just look at your weighing. Okay. So, mm, mm. Okay, for Ryan, like your weighing is good as in it's very detailed, but what I want you to do is that I want you to talk about a specific metric. So, what metric does this hinge on? I think this hinges on quality of life, right? Like the quality of life would be terrible for these animals. Now, now that you have your weighing metric clearly stated, how do you link it back? Or like how do you say that, op isn't able to achieve the same amount, like the same quality of life. You understand? I don't know if that makes sense. Type in either the doc or the chat if you understand. Okay. So, okay, Nancy, although specific zoos do harm animals, they're the minority. Okay, first off, can you tell me what weighing metric you're hinging on?
The amount of animals that are alive.
Okay, the amount of animals that are alive. Um, okay. Okay, good. This is good. I like your structure. The next thing I want you to do is that I want you to add more details, i.e., like either more examples or or more mechanisms on why this is more likely. So yes, I would believe you on the intuitive level that many zoos probably do help more animals than they abuse. But why is this more likely and why is this true? Okay? Um, Maggie, many zoos. Um, mhm. Yeah, good point, Maggie. So yes, like many zoos, some and the biggest incentive for zoos is obviously money, right? So unless if it's like a proper sanctuary, then many zoos still want profit. where they would want, to have either the most enclosures or make the animals, you know, or like, add some specific examples. Okay, but try to think outside of the box. Good. I think you guys are pretty okay on weighing. Just make sure to practice it later on. Um, okay, do you guys get themes? Because I need you guys to like, if you guys are doing third, you guys need to do themes. Government forces. Yeah. Are you guys good with themes? Yes. Okay. Um, okay, let's just go through themes one last time just to make sure that like we're on the same page, okay? So first of all, you have to point out the main disagreement between both sides that reach the same impact. So let's say that both sides, the end impact for both sides is helping more people, right? But they sort of disagree either on the process or whether it is good for them. So let's say that, we're talking about wars, right? Let's say I'm saying that the process of wars is horrible and therefore we should focus on helping more people. That's my end impact, right? On the other side, they say that wars are good because they end up helping more people. We're disagreeing on the main process on how we help more people. So because of this, then we need to find out any deadlocks or clashes. I can either do this by, saying like, okay, um, here's the main thing that we disagree on. And then I want you guys to add in rebuttal or reconstruction within this process. So within the disagreements or finding out the clashes, I want you guys to add rebuttal to the other side's case, or if you can't find any rebuttal, just reconstruct your own case. Afterwards, I want you to explain why your side is more likely. So let's say that no war equals helping more people. Why is this more likely than having wars and helping people? What's the difference? Okay. So talk to me about the differences and what change does it necessarily make. And then after, like lastly, you have to do weighing. Like weighing is really important in the sense that if you don't do it, it's very difficult for the judge to sort of decide which point is more important. And make sure if you guys are weighing on metric, so let's go back to helping more people, right? Then you would say vulnerability. There's a vulnerable group that we are helping, which is the people, all right? Or you can say the magnitude. The magnitude that it affects people is immense. Everyone gets affected. So therefore we win. Something like that. All right. But of course you still have to explain and like explain why your side is more likely and why it's more important. Always talk about why it's more important. Okay. Hmm. Let me look at your other tabs. Okay, this is good. Um, I don't know how much time you guys have. So for like, how do I say this? Yeah, I think you guys need to start working on like your speeches by today so you have enough time to like make it better. Let me look. Did you guys do any okay drugs? Hmm. Okay, yeah. Sort of like look at the arguments that you want to run and the arguments that you don't want to run. All right. Okay. I want you guys to talk with each other today, preferably after class. So, do you guys have a shared group chat?
We have a Discord server, but we don't know Jasper or Eddie's Discord.
Okay, Jasper,
Yes.
do you have Discord?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Can you put that in so Nancy or Ryan can add you to their group chat.
Okay, put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Also, the tournament is is in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're kind of cooked.
And also remember that Harvard is paper prep only. So you need to print out your case and you cannot use a computer unless you get an accessibility pass.
Okay.
So
Can
even when you prep, you have to use paper.
can we meet up in person?
That's something for you guys to decide. So talk within amongst yourselves in the group chat and then decide what would be most beneficial to you.
Okay.
Okay? Um, all right. Do you guys have any questions about anything? Because I don't know if I can meet up with you guys again, but like this is the last class to ask questions. So do you guys have any questions?
Um, so like, how would you like structure a speech?
How would I structure? It depends on what I'm doing. I typically do firsts. So firsts are a little bit more simple in the sense that you don't need to focus too much on doing the weighing or like clashes. But what I do need to focus on is like the constructives, okay? So I start with my introduction, then I move on to the round specific burdens, and then later on, like, hold on, let me find. Okay, so I give like basically title, my argument, setup, and then my two like and then yeah. So intro, setup, and then arguments. If I'm on op, then I do intro, setup, or stance, and then I burden push. I add some rebuttal, and then I do my constructive arguments. And then if I'm speaking second, then obviously it's a little bit more complicated, but it's intro, and then I do any clarifications that need to be done. I rebut and reconstruct, and then I add a new constructive if necessary. I typically don't do thirds, but the third structure is what I pasted over there.
Okay, so how do you do like an intro?
An intro, it depends. Most people just do an intro that summarizes their case. If you don't have an intro, you can go directly into your speech. Just say 3 points for you today, and then you go.
Okay.
All right. Um, does anyone else have any questions? Also, for intros, like it's not very important that you focus on them right now, especially if, you're like there's lots to be improved on for argument structure overall. So what I want you guys to do is focus more on your like content. Less on style, more on content. And then so your intro could be like either attacking the op side, it can either be sort of glazing your own side, so saying why it's better, or just do a summary, a brief summary before you get into it, and then roadmap, or like, yeah, flag what you're gonna say. That will help the judge feel more organized in general. But yeah, that's essentially it. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, no, are we thinking?
Um,
Okay. Yeah? Did you want to say something or
yeah, no, no, like I'm fine. Like,
Okay, good. So if you guys don't have any more questions, then we'll just end class over here. I wish you guys the best of luck. And what's the difference between a whip and a reply? A reply is 4 minutes. A third speaker, you still can add new mechanisms, like new whys and hows and impacts, but you just can't add new content. So you can't add a new argument. You can't add new framing. Okay? All you can do is clarify and add like new mechanisms that can help your previous argument, but it can't be something completely new. Is the style the same though? Essentially, but like reply is sort of um like basically, but reply is a little bit more of a biased summary. Third speaker is a little bit more of a constructive summary. So let's say the reply you start off with, okay, you don't even need to do a like a really long intro for a reply because you only have 4 minutes, right? So try to point out the most clashes within the round and why your team wins it. On third, you have to go by themes. So less on clashes, more on themes. Make sense? Okay. Are we all good? Can we leave?
since we're like all here right now, then can we schedule the meetup right now?
Yeah, you guys can schedule it. I'm just going to leave right now, but you guys talk, okay?
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so is anyone free on later today? When are you all free? Because like the Harvard tournament is in 2 months. I mean 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So when are you all free?
Um,
Yeah?
I could like try if like wait,
I can do later today. I can't do Saturday, Sunday. We can do I can do Monday after class. Tuesday I have class again, so I can't do.
I think I could try doing it today, but if not like Saturday or Sunday.
I can't do Saturday, Sunday. I'm gone the whole day.
Oh,
Both. Can you also try Monday after class? Is anyone else free on Friday or Monday? Okay, Jasper, are you good on Friday later today?
Friday 1.
Um, I'm thinking maybe 5:30 to 6.
We gonna meet online or offline?
We can talk in the Discord group chat.
Okay, we can talk.
Okay.